day to be me. I believe this, I live this, I bees this, and I require this. And I guarantee you, if you continue to use this mantra a couple times a day to begin with, after your couple times a day, you just automatically know it. And regardless of the circumstances or situations, your life will exponentially get better each and every day. You know, it is truly, truly a privilege and an honor to have Miss Lemons in the house. I would like to hear from you before I just run on into our regularly scheduled class. How you doing, Miss Lemons?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Everything is just lovely. I mean, yeah, you know, you are like, you know, the celebrity poppy, and today I am just thankful and grateful. You've been prolific with your posting, and I see that, and I encourage you to continue doing your original content. As long as you're doing your original content, I'm gonna always support you, and you know that. So keep up the good work. All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
You are so welcome. You are so welcome. Uh, uh, I'm excited that Miss Jolene is going to join us, but she is having difficulty connecting to the audio. So she is in the chat. However, her phone is going to do something to connect. So we're going to get to we'll by the end of the show, I'm quite sure we're going to have opportunity to speak to our show's favorite, which is Jolene. Had another therapy session yesterday with my therapist, and yesterday was all about finding a pleasant interaction or situation or event that had at least myself and my grandmother and my mom there. And yeah, the only one that I could really come up with was one that, you know, happened once a month. We would go downtown to pay the bills and do whatever store shopping we was going to do. We would do it at the beginning of the month. And it was a whole ritual type of deal, you know. Grandmother dressed to the nines, she got her pearls on, her wig, and you know, my mom got some pantsuit that is popping, and then they got me dressed up like little Lord Fauntleroy. And you know, of course, I done got the verbal abuse before we even leave home. Don't you go touch shit. Don't you ask me for shit. You're not getting shit. You know, so I was already on guard before I even left the house. However, every time we went downtown to pay the bills, we would go to this Chinese restaurant called the Rice Bowl, and they had the most outstanding Chinese food I have ever eaten in my life. And so we would go down there and we'd have this big old meal, and my grandmother's laughing and my mom's laughing and I'm laughing. And, you know, we talking to the folks that are the proprietors of the shop. And it was just, you know, it was always the end of it always was a nice cherry on top of a cake, you know. However, I did have to come to a realization that, yeah, I was abused and traumatized before we even left the house that day. So that's where I learned my compartmentalization, where I knew, hey, Jolene, I knew that we were going to the Rice Bowl after we got done with business. So I just would tune out all of that negativity, all of that. I mean, this was like a 15-minute tirade, scripted speech, the same shit over and over and over and over. So that is how I learned to compartmentalize, and that is how I learned to listen but not hear you. Yeah, yeah. I listen to you, so in case I needed to duck my head if something was coming my way, I could know that. However, I wouldn't hear that negativity. I just wouldn't hear it. I just wouldn't hear it. And each time, uh, even in a conversation, each time that I shut down like that, that was another little wound. It really was. So, but we are so much better. And I'm saying we because inner child is part of this now, and the inner child is very, very happy with my grown ass, because the inner child now can trust me. It never was the other way around, where I couldn't trust my inner child. Inner child couldn't trust me. So the outburst, so the binge drinking and other illicit shit I've done in my life, so the impulsive moves and some of the crazy happenings in my life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So from here on out, it's a two-man operation now. It's PB and Lottie Da. So if y'all hear me refer to Lottie Da, that's Little Mark. That's my inner child. And I feel much lighter. I feel freer. I am in no way am I saying that I am healed from this. However, the worst of it and the harmful shit and the weight and the burden of it is gone. It's gone. Those titles, they're gone. Still have some work to do. I'm not again, I'm not telling anybody I'm healed. However, that really isn't a factor in how I'm thinking, feeling, acting, and being in a go forward. Sure, it feels good to be able to say that now, say this right now. However, when a trigger comes, let's see how I handle it in that moment. So this will be the last update I give you guys, as in reference to anything that I go over with my therapist. In fact, the therapist had a chat with me yesterday and said that as far as he's concerned, he doesn't see the need for too many more appointments between he and I. He commended me on not running from shit and not lying about shit. And he told me where I am at, where I was at after the first session, and I did some work for the second session. He said sometimes it takes some of his clients 6-8 months, a year to get to there. He said, so, and again, I was ready to release the burden of that. That was a burden, and it was a burden that I didn't need to be carrying from the beginning. So, again, I'm thankful, grateful, and I will continue to heal and continue to progress, and we will look forward to the next situation, association, or endeavor that comes up that needs some fine tuning, because we are all a work in progress. And regardless if you think you have healed from some shit, there's other shit that you haven't healed from. Other shit. So So the healing from trauma and childhood, especially childhood and growing up, you know, is not looked upon as traumatic. However, I know some of us dealt with fear and trauma on a daily basis. Even if you didn't get your ass whooped every day, you could have. You was liable to. You had parents that would whoop you for anything. Yeah, I got whooped for grass stains on my pants. You know, got whooped for winning a spelling bee. I'll tell you guys that one another time. That one was funny. That was funny. Not I got whooped because I ended up in the newspaper, and that was a no-no. We don't want to draw any attention to ourselves. So I got a spanking for winning the spelling bee. Talk about trauma. But it's all good now. It's all good. Anybody got any comments, any concerns, anything they would like to add to this before we get into our regularly scheduled class? Hey, Jolene, come on and talk to us. Go ahead, Miss Lemon. You want to talk?
I was just going to say, I'm glad you said that.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Well, I appreciate that. So, all right. So we're going to just run on into the class for today. This is Mastered Self Numerology. Today is May 3rd, 2022. This is our regularly scheduled 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time class. And today is the state of current affairs overview. Now, this concept might be a little new to some of you. However, by the end of today, you'll have a complete understanding of what the state of current affairs and how you derive it and where it comes from and what it truly, truly, truly means. So this is the state of current affairs overview. There is a clear and precise roadmap for your individual soul journey with the specific paths you'll be taking, with the people and places you will encounter, with designed rest stops, with the alternative options or lane changes of life, and with the pleasures of your soul journey. It means everything good, all laid out for you in your state of current affairs. Everything that you have already done, you can go back, and I'm going to show you how to do this, but you'll be able to go back and read that, and you can read yourself well into the future. Well into the future. And that is given to you by figuring out your state of current affairs. Due to your state of current affairs, you will be able to figure out and interpret every period or phase of life at any given time, from the year of your birth well into your future. Your state of current affairs exposes the experiences you have already gone through and those that are yet to come. It allows you to look backwards into the past and to look forward into the future. Your state of current affairs will definitely reveal the highlights of your soul journey, the highlights of your human experience, your turning points and forks in the road, your love affairs, relationships, and situationships, your business and vocational activities, and your reasons why for the happenings and events you may fail to fully understand, either when you went through them, if it's a past period, or while you're going through it, if it's a current period, or it's what to expect in the future period. Your state of current affairs is the junction point that your soul chose to meet when it came into 3D consciousness, giving you the opportunity for spiritual awareness and growth. So just from that and the state of current affairs, we know that it must keep going, just like your astrological chart keeps going forward. And you could regress it back as far as you think you can read it for, and you can find it. And if you are savvy enough, you'll be able to see those times when you was incarnated, if you're savvy enough. If you're savvy enough. Any comments, any questions? Nope. All right. How you will meet and complete these opportunities and experiences truly depends on you, your character, your inner makeup, and your understanding of yourself. Master self numerology and any other numerology provides you with the tools to acquire this understanding. Y'all that have been around me long enough and been in these classes, you guys are now able to go forward into the magic of your future. You guys got enough equipping right now that you could go right into how I'm going to show you how to do this, and you could write up your whole life's plan. Your soul journey will be realized as you meet and complete the myriad experiences throughout your soul journey. So through I have a 3 soul journey. So that will be realized as I continue to meet and complete the different experiences that I do along my soul journey. Same thing for you. Whatever your soul journey number is, it will be realized as you keep going through life and keep experiencing these experiences and keep living, breathing, being, and doing. Your natural talents and abilities will come forth and develop. Your soul urges, your birth force will gain strength and momentum confidently. Your talents and abilities will come forth and develop, and your soul urges will gain strength and momentum confidently. Your personality and her temperament and type, et cetera, will find many outlets of expression, and your latter life vibration will be successfully attained and maintained. And you can see all of this just by figuring out your current state of affairs. When you are reading the current state of affairs, be very mindful and make note of the requirement or of the opportunity, which can be hidden or obscured at the time, and to show the ways and means up and out of an obstacle, all the while showing your obligation, opportunity, and awakenings, which are symbolized by the letters and numbers of your given names at birth. Now, all numbers are good. We have already covered this. We are told, all of us, that there are no bad numbers. There's no bad cards. There's no bad zodiac signs. None of them are bad. There are no numbers that are better than the other. Each one is it in its own right. Each zodiac sign is it in its own right. There's no competition. There's no. I laugh every time I see somebody talk about the worst liar of the zodiac is, and then they come, however they come to who it is. The worst liar of the zodiac is all of us. Everybody lie. It don't matter what your zodiac sign is. Don't matter what your numbers are. It don't matter what your cards are. The folks talk about these two signs, these two zodiac signs don't they're not compatible. Hell, you got way more shit that you need along with a zodiac sign for compatibility. It's crazy. It's crazy. So all numbers are good. We've already covered this. There are no bad numbers nor bad experiences. Dysfunction, toxicity, and disharmony come from the ways the experience is taken and from the lack of full understanding of its true purpose. I have a saying: if you don't like what you are looking at, change your perspective. You don't like what you see, change what you're looking at. You don't like what you're looking at, change your perspective. You want to change your reality, change your perspective. Things that used to be deal breakers for me now, I don't care. Okay. Because I changed my perspective, and it doesn't, what I believe politically doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just my political belief. That's all it is. It's not an end all be all. It works for me. I suggest everyone get a spiritual practice that works for you, a vocational practice that works for you, an intellectual practice that works for you. And if it happens to be something that some other folks are doing, then yeah, that's a good group to hang out with. There is no forever pain or sorrow, and there are no losses or failures. Once the light of understanding is turned on, the situation, association, or endeavor, and wise interpretation is present and available. You guys are wise, man. You guys are equipped. So there is no forever pain or sorrow, and there are no losses or failures. I either win or I learn and grow. I don't lose shit. I either win or I learn and grow. Any comments? All right.
I want to take the opportunity to say hi, everyone. How's everybody doing?
Good. How's your daughter?
Oh, I'm hoping another week.
Okay.
And I want to show up my hair because I haven't seen my hair like this in years.
You go with that now. You go ahead now. Yeah. It's
I'm always
and behaving. Yes,
this
it
is something else. I want to get my hair. And so the Bronx is good. Busy as always. We're busy. You see, every time I sit down, somebody calls me. And so I want to be, everywhere at once. But everything's good.
Well, we appreciate you taking time out of your visit to join us today. And however and whenever you could chime back in, that'll be great. That'll be great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you, Jolene.
All right.
All right. Your state of current affairs is a changing and progressive picture of your life. You are the headliner. You, the star of the show. And the situations, associations, and endeavors are the plot and the action of the grand play that you're living out, that I'm living out. You and your current state of affairs are forever companions and can never be separated. Together, you prepare a place for yourself in society and the world of achieved accomplishment. Any comments? Nope. All right. Rules for figuring your state of current affairs. Okay. So, you guys, you know your names. You know we have talked about our names. We know the numbers of our names. Timing. Each one of your given names at birth and each letter of each given names at birth represent a definite and specific period of time and activity. Each name is like a CD, you know, like I plug in Frankie and it just takes me back to that time. Each name is like that. Each name is like a CD. It's telling you of the conditions you must live up to and the assignments to be completed in order to advance personally. Each name repeats its theme over and over again. And each name operates separately. However, all 3 to 4 plus names that any of us could have work together just like the chords of music. Now, for instance, my first name, given name at birth, Mark. M is a 4, A is a 1, R is a 9, K is a 2. 4192 is 16. So it takes 16 years for me to live through my name, Mark, one time. My middle name is Edward, adds up to a 28. It takes 28 years to go through Edward once. Last name Pyle, 22. It takes 22 years. It's the number that your name adds up to before it is reduced down to a single digit. They each run separately. So from birth, okay, I was at birth when they did the birth certificate. I was born and they recorded Mark Edward Pyle. So I was in the M of Mark for how many years? 4 years, because it's a 4. I was in the E of Edward 5 years, and I was in the P of Pyle for 7. So then after 4 years, I move into the A of Mark. But I'm still in the E of Pyle and the E of Edward and the P. So you see, each name operates and runs separately. It runs according to the number it is prior to it being reduced down into a single digit. And they repeat over and over. Mark, I've gone through Mark more than Pyle, more than Edward. 16 more than 22, more than 28. Yeah. But once I get at birth year 16, I go back to when I get out of the when I get out of the K of Mark, I go back into the M, and your name keeps advancing in your other letters. Yeah, y'all know where I'm going with this. The letters of each name represent the exact nature of the situation, association, or endeavor taking place, and also the length of time of the situation, association, or endeavor that it will be in place. Any questions? The period of time which a name records is according to the sum of the letters of that name before being reduced down to a single digit. At the end of any name, it is repeated over and over throughout your entire incarnation. If anyone wants to write these down, these are very easy to remember because it's the value of the letter let you know how long of the year period it is. So for A, J, and S, that's a 1. So that represents a 1-year period. BKT, that's a 2. That represents a 2-year period. So you have a B, a K, and a T in your name. It take 2 years to get through that letter. A, J's, and S's, you go through those in 1 year. C's, L's, and U's is a 3-year period. So you will be in the letter C for 3 years, the letter L for 3 years, the letter U for 3 years. Just like with number 4, D, M, V, those are 4-year period letters. E, N, W are 5-year period letters. F, O, X are 6-year period letters. G, P, Y are 7-year period letters. H, Q, Z represent 8-year period letters, and I and R are 9-year period letters.
I have a question.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Justel, which adds up to 23, breaks down to 5. That means it would take 23 years in total to get through my full name.
Full name one time, yes.
So the first year, my first step would be the 1, and then the next I would go to the 3, and then the 1, and then the 2.
2, and then the
after
5,
my 20,
and then the 3, and then the 5, yeah.
okay, so then after I get to that 23-year cycle, then it repeats itself.
Yep, at 24, you go back to the J.
Okay, and I have another question.
Mhm.
So you mentioned about how your first, middle, and last name all ties into these cycles. Can you kind of go over that just slightly a little bit?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So they run separately. Mark is a 16-year cycle. Edward is a 28-year cycle. Pyle is a 22-year cycle. So just from knowing the length of cycles, I'm going to, and the M in Mark in my first name is a 4-year cycle. The E in Edward is 5. The P in Pyle is 7. So I will be into the R of Mark before I move out of the P of Pyle. You guys feel me what I'm saying? I will be well into the name of Mark before I even move out of the first letter of Pyle, because P is a 7-year cycle. I will just be entering, I'll be 1 year into the 9-year cycle of Mark when I move out of that 7-year cycle of Pyle. And Mark, that's my first step. That's your personality, that's ego, all of that is got its own vibration. Edward, he has his own vibration, and he is running his 28-year cycle, not to be interrupted. You don't get to interrupt your name. So Mark is a 16-year cycle. That's my first step. Edward, that's my middle ground. That's running its own cycle. And then Pio is running a 22-year cycle. They all start off at year 1 from when you're born. So the first, depending upon the shortest length of your name, yeah, Mark has repeated many times. Edward is on his second go round. Pyle is getting close to 3. So, and the 7 works with the 1, works with the 4. The 16 works with the 28, works with the 22. Mark works with Edward. Edward works with Pyle. Pyle works with Mark. Mark works with Pyle. And because and then look at, see, I have odd, even. So by nature, I'm more odd than, I'm more off balance than balanced, because I have 7, 1, and then a 4. Now 4 is giving me stability, but I'm odd, even. So I need, it's a good mix, because I have in the grand scheme of things, odd, even, odd. I have that, but your names work together. Your 5 works with your 4, and then they both work with your 9, Victorious. My 7 works with my 1, and then they both work with my 4. First name, middle name, last name. You will notice more of your characteristics are played out through your first name, and because they are the strongest. However, you can see the power of your middle name and your family biohistory. That's just how you innately get down. So you have your first step, which is your first name, and then you have your last name, which is your family biohistory. That's how you just innately go about business. And then you have your middle name, which is your balance. Like, if all shit broke loose, what would you do? What would you fall back on? That's your middle name. That's your balance. That's your ballast. If shit fell funky, and if whatever you were doing right now, whatever you do right now for work, if it became obsolete, what would you fall back on? You fall back on the influence of your middle name. So your middle name is your balance. Your first name is your first step. Your last name is how you gonna balance your first step. Yeah, innately. Did that answer? Or did I convolute your question even more?
No, that helped tremendously.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? We got. See, I have to break this up into 2 lessons, because when I show you guys the see, I haven't even named what I'm gonna call the next section. I got between the time I end the class until we pick it back up Thursday to come up with a name. Yes, Miss Lemons.
Okay, so basically, because I know my first name and my middle name are both 20, and my last name is 35. So basically, I've gone through my first and middle name already, but I haven't gone through my last name.
Not yet.
Okay.
Yet, first and middle and last name all work together. That 35-8 Williams, that's a powerful family biohistory. That's a powerful internal guidance system. That's your internal guidance system. Y'all just get down a certain type of way. Your clique of the Williams, y'all got a certain way of handling business, and for the most part, it is very, very, very profitable. Y'all ain't no po folks. Y'all is on the upper side of the hog. Y'all ain't on the low side. Y'all is on up here, not down here. So that's a very good influence for you to have. And 20, just for you, don't make hasty decisions. Don't make hasty financial decisions. Don't make hasty relationship decisions. Don't make hasty job decisions, especially with money, because haste makes waste. Through hasty decisions, you waste and lose more than if you just sit back and be calm about it. Yeah, with those 20 being first name and your middle, yeah, just be real mindful and be real clear about any decision and choices you make. Don't make them fast, and don't be impulsive, and don't be pressured into making no type of decision, and you'll always be fine. Always. Always.
Thank you.
You're very, very welcome. Anybody else? Deirdre, you good?
I am. I
Okay.
knew you were about to ask me that. I'm good, thank you.
All right. All right. It's good to have your presence here. I truly, truly appreciate it.
Thank you. We appreciate it too, Mike.
Thank you much. Thank you much. If there be nothing else, this has been On the Sevens with Piper's Beat Metatron, where we come to awaken, ascend, and expand. We do go through the 88 steps into your mastered self. And I guarantee you, if you make On the Sevens with Piper's Beat Metatron a part of your soul journey, somewhere along the way, your mastered self awaits you. Please allow me to help unlock the cosmic code of your name so that you can start happening to life instead of allowing life to happen to you. And you guys know, every time I say goodbye, it does not mean forever. It just means for this moment. I love each and every one of you, and I will see you guys on Thursday. Until then, ciao. Goodbye for now.
Goodbye.
Bye. Good night, everyone.